Have a few incidents I want to share with you. They've been on my mind for a while now. First incident. At my old job a few years back. Used to work as a border patrol agent for quite some time. Rotated a lot and had different duties, but this particular night I'm sitting in a camera room. It's up on top of a big ass mountain. I am just looking at surveillance footage and trying to spot anyone crossing illegally. There are numerous cameras spread out for a while. Think they use drones now too, but they didn't back then, that's for sure. Also have access to motion sensors and can see if any are tripped. If I see anything, I report it, and can send out a team or coordinate a response for whatever is happening. Usually depends on how many people and the severity of the situation. Anyway, sitting in that room for hours and hours, honestly getting kinda tired and starting to drift off. Suddenly spot a group of people on the cameras. Looks to be a handful of people, maybe 4 or 5 of them, trying to cross. Seems weird though. I can see something else. It's like a beam of light, like you would see from a flashlight, but obviously much bigger in size. It chases them for a while and then disappears. Keeps disappearing and reappearing as they are running. Definitely following them, no mistaking it. I radio a nearby patrol. Tell me they're on it. I ask them about the light in the sky. What light? Guess that means it's not us. Getting a better view of it now that they're moving to a different point. It's coming from the fucking sky. They are picking up the pace. One guy falls behind and decides to dive into the water just as it was about to hit him. The rest don't even turn back and run directly into our boys. They are stressed and panicking and are trying to break free desperately. Start attacking our agents. I can hear over the radio that they are telling them to run before they are caught. I have never seen anything like it before in my life. They were not scared of our agents at all, just pounding on their chests trying to break free. They just didn't want to be caught by that light. They got an expedited removal. They were detained for not even 24 hours in total. They were questioned and then sent straight back. They fished the guy out who dove into the water. They grilled him really hard. I was present for this actually. Asked him what the fuss was. Asked him about the light. For reference, only me and one agent not involved in this incident reported seeing the light, so my guy still did not have a clue. Guy refused to speak English to us. I don't know if he didn't know English or if he just did not want to speak it. Only said one sentence to us and then remained silent. Said something like, "El diablo nos matará si somos demasiado lentos." Forgive my rusty Spanish if I spelled that wrong. As far as I can remember, means something like, "The devil will kill us if we are slow." Really gave me the spooks. The second incident happened not long after the first. I want to say maybe a week later maximum. Things escalated so quickly it becomes a bit of a blur. Anyway, sitting in the camera rooms again on this night. Had a little activity so far, but nothing substantial. A few weirdos trying to stir up trouble. Start hearing chatter on the radio. Couple of agents on patrol get in contact with me. Start telling me that they think that there is cartel activity currently happening in the area. Oh fuck. Ask them why they think that. Because we just found some human remains. I think I'm gonna be sick. I don't press too hard for details, but they specified that it is only parts and not a whole human. It means a lot of paperwork will have to be filled out. We'll have to make reports and increase patrols too. They found them in some tiny rusted shack. We did not think it had been used in a long time. I'm distracted by this and haven't been looking at the cameras for the last minute or so, maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes. There is 4 people on my screen. Looks to be a family of 4. There's a grown man, a grown woman, and 2 children. I let them know over the radio. Ask if there is anyone in the area. There isn't, but 2 agents are going to make their way over pronto. The family are moving quite quickly, ducking and dodging between trees and through bits of water. They look terrified, just like the group of people the other week. Ask for an ETA, and I get told 5 minutes approximately. That is when I see it again, a few meters in the distance. I see that same light from before. It's not constant. It keeps flickering on and off as it follows. Not sure if it's some kind of signal or for something else entirely. It's gaining on them. It's gaining quickly too. I radio it in and tell them I am seeing what I saw before. Agents are like, okay, don't panic, we are almost there. Those fucking liars. Found out that they thought I was bullshitting, and they were not even close. Family is running as quickly as they can. They are moving so fast that one of the kids who was lagging behind them trips over a rock or a twig or something. He was the youngest, and I guess they were so hyped up on adrenaline and thinking of survival that they didn't realize immediately. Mother turns around and realizes what has happened. Held her hands to her mouth and I guess she screamed. Father tries to hold her back, but she breaks free and runs, and the little girl follows her mom. Light is right there. Father starts sprinting for his life. Light is about a second away now. Mother desperately tries to pick up both of her kids, but she sees just how close the light is to her. Falls to her knees and gives up. Boom. The light hits them, dead on, from above. 1 second, the mother is kneeling on the floor, cradling both of her kids as she sobs. Next second, they just vanish. I radio in, completely hysterical after seeing this. I guess they finally took me seriously because they showed up pretty quickly after my outburst. They looked at the spot where the mother and her kids were at. What they found I could not believe when they told me. You know how police make those outlines out of tape? They were free, except they were formed by ash. The 2 kids, or what we presumed were her kids, were just 2 mounds of it. The mother, though, you could see her entire outline on the ground. It was just like her shadow had been cast on the floor. This was something we had a lot of trouble coming up with an explanation for. We eventually decided to lump it in with the evidence we found of cartel activity. It was easier to say that they did something sadistic than to come up with a proper explanation that would not get us sectioned. Never found the father. We investigated the direction he went in though. We scoured all around. We found something that we're not sure if it was connected or not. Plastered all over the lower half of a tree, we found some kind of viscous black liquid. If I'm being honest, it looked more like some type of goo. Closer to tar in consistency than anything else. Ectoplasm, maybe. Could easily have been cartel work, but who knows at this point. Third incident happened maybe a month removed from the events of the first 2 incidents. We thought we had put all of that weird shit behind us, but I guess we were wrong. Things switched up a little after the cartel activity was reported. Patrol frequency had to be increased, and it was all hands on deck. I, being one of the more senior agents, would not have the luxury of being on cameras anymore. They needed me out in the field to be a level head and put one of the rookies on the cameras instead. So, I am part of a mobile unit with just my partner. Luckily for us though, there were 2 other agents within our vicinity, so any dangerous activity, and we would have backup. Protocol is usually to have more than 2 at a time, but with increased patrols, we were stretched a little bit thin. Things are pretty quiet for a time. Just shooting the shit with my partner, talking about ice hockey. Dude was making fun of me for rocking a Stars jersey, even though I'm from Boston. Suddenly get chatter from the radio. Rookie in the camera room says he has seen movement around our area. Just one person, can't quite make out who. Has just seen glimpses and rustling bushes. The other unit says they will be on their way to us immediately. Before they got there, we saw those damn lights again. I would be lying if I said I didn't piss in my pants just a little. If it did to that family what I think it did, we were in trouble. It was only brief, thankfully. Just a singular flash this time. It did not chase us. Other 2 agents finally reached us. Rookie said he saw the flash and more movement to our north. We decided to do a sweep and deal with the fucker playing a prank on us. We walked through trees and brush for maybe 5 minutes in total. We come out into a flatter area with no cover. We see something standing right there a few feet away from us. It has its back turned. It was a strange color. Looked to be almost the color of sand, but more matte. I guess that is the best way that I can put it. When it turned around and realized that we were there, it was furious. Its eyes were massive and so was its head. I only looked at it for about a second before it reached its hand out in my direction and seemed to be looking directly at me. My partner pulled his gun up and started taking shots at it. Then the other two began to do the same. I just stood there in shock for a time. The bullets did not do anything. It wasn't invulnerable. They physically did not hit the thing. The bullets, went through it, but that is not possible. My only explanation for it in retrospect is that the bullets dematerialized once getting close to the alien and then rematerialized at the other end where the exit wound should be. I saw the bullets hit the dirt behind the thing. It must have had some kind of force field. There is just no way it could be intangible like that. This shootout, if you can call it that, only lasted for 30 seconds in total. The alien did not take his eyes off of me the whole entire time. I could feel it staring into my soul. It must have gotten tired or annoyed or I don't know what, because the thing moved its outstretched arm from pointing at me to pointing at my partner. He had shot the thing first. In the span of a second, I saw my partner stop shooting, let go of his gun, and then after that he just fucking exploded. His head popped like a balloon. I am not saying his head literally exploded, but I heard a pop sound. It came from his head. I saw his head fucking bulge when I heard the sound. Then he dropped to the floor and started convulsing for a second maximum, and then he was just still. I wish I was just imagining things, but I can still hear that sound in my head. The two other agents looked over and saw and just ran. I was still frozen. I could not move my legs, I was so scared. The alien looked at me again, and I was so sure that I was next, but it turned back around and ignored me. It felt like forever, but after maybe a minute, I managed to turn and run. The higher-ups were obviously not happy. We couldn't exactly lie our way out of this one. No cartel can do the things we saw that thing do. They didn't exactly believe us, but they had no other choice to. Things got really shaken up after that. We each had to give a statement formally. From there on, we were not fully trusted. There was strict monitoring put in place. We were all essentially back on probation again. Each of us had to have one of their own men assigned to each of us to follow us around and shadow us and keep us in check. I don't know exactly what agency these men worked for, but it made me nervous all the same. Every single thing, even minor incidents, required a write-up and basically a full-on interrogation. The death of an agent in a circumstance like that just sent everything into a spiral. One more incident for you all. This only happened maybe 5 days after my partner was killed. It wasn't as traumatizing as the last, but it is probably the one I feel the most guilt for, even if I didn't directly cause it. I was back in the camera room for this one. They basically blamed me for my partner's death, so they were keeping me under lock and key essentially. I spot movement on the cameras. Can't fully make it out, but the guy is really tall. He looks tall and kinda pale. Not to mention he is real close by to a couple of agents, 2 of ours and 2 of the higher-ups agents. I let them know what is happening. They initiate open radio with me and want constant updates and tracking. I comply the very best that I can. The thing gets closer. It isn't running towards them, but in a different direction. Looks to be trying to cross the border. They start calling in a detailed description. They say it's an emaciated figure, tall and really pale. It looks to be almost just a skeleton with how thin it looks. They say it looks inhuman. That one word was all it took for another 4 agents to be dispatched to their location. Took only a matter of minutes. They see it. It sees them. It tries to run. They say it's another alien. They are told not to let it get away. It gets gunned down by a firing squad. Hits the dirt. It was not an alien at all. It was an undocumented man attempting to cross the border. He was starving and frightened and had heavy scarring from what looked to be a whip all the way down his back. They speculate it was probably from cartel torture. He looked like he had not eaten in weeks and was on the brink of death. The heightened security, These idiot outsiders they brought in to watch us, combined with how jumpy everyone was, had caused us to mistake a regular, starving, living human being for a monster. And we had gunned him down in cold blood, when all he was trying to do was escape to live a better life, and maybe finally get a meal. We killed an innocent starving man running for his life from the cartel. To say that we were all in shock is putting it mildly. None of this was ever put in any kind of official reports. I don't know how many outside the few of us ever learned about the events. We were forced to sign NDAs and sworn to secrecy. The incident was covered up hard. Months went by with no more events, and once they realized and the reality of the fuck up set in, they cleared out pretty quickly and decided that their response was overreach. Those fuckers came in, blamed us for something we had no control over, made an even bigger mess, and then left us to take the fall and to suffer the guilt. Fuck this stupid country. There is not a night I don't lie awake thinking about my partner or that innocent man that we killed. Hey, hope you've enjoyed the story so far. If you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment because it lets YouTube know you like the content and helps more people to see these videos. My next big goal for the channel is 100,000 subscribers, and as a celebration, I will be doing a Q&A video once we hit that goal. Thank you, and back to the stories. Me, I'm in college. My cousin also goes to the same college as me. Starts dating a girl who said her house is possessed by a demon. We didn't believe her, of course. Wanted to go and see for ourselves. About an hour away. 4 people, 2 guys, myself and my cousin, and 2 girls. Arrive at the house. It was empty as her parents were out of town for the weekend. As soon as we walk into the house and turn the lights on, we head to the kitchen. Mind you, the house had been empty for at least a night by now. Every cabinet and refrigerator door in the kitchen was open, and there was a giant kitchen knife stuck at least an inch into the wall. At first, we thought it was a prank to scare us. She closes all the cabinets. I remember her using her hands and feet to close them, like she had done it 1,000 times before. Asks if we want beer. We do. She goes into the garage to get them from the garage refrigerator. Asks why they keep food and drinks in the garage. She says that the fridge never stays closed, along with cabinets, so they had to start putting things in the other fridge. Also notice a broken plate on the ground. Start to pick it up for her, but she says no, leave that there. If you pick it up, it will just break another one. Wow, very heavy noping all around. It's obvious that these people have to deal with this regularly, and she wasn't just fucking with us. She pulls the knife out of the wall and sets it on the countertop. Mentions some scratches in her room and asks if we want to see them. We do, of course, so we go upstairs into her room. She shows us scratches that could have been something crazy, but could have also just been a dog/cat. We talk about this for a few and then head back downstairs. Every cabinet door and fridge is wide open again. Knife is restuck in the wall. We are the only ones there, and that is verified by all involved. Major fucking nubs. Then she drops the bombshell on us. She says they can ever go in the basement past midnight. You won't make it past the 6th step, she says. Of course, my cousin and I accept this challenge. We have a little liquid courage by now from the beers, so we check the time. It is 11:59 exactly when we look. Again, minor noping. We open the basement door. The girl is petrified. She is hiding behind the other girl, who is hiding behind us. As we open it, gust of wind comes rushing up at us, like blowing our hair back. It was so strong. Very freaky, but the air smelled fresh, so we assumed a window was open, or something natural like that. My cousin and I agreed to go down side by side, step by step. We are scared, but of course, we won't admit that. We reach up and turn the lights on. A single light turns on in the basement. It's not very illuminating. We step down the first step, and of course, like a fucking horror movie, the light goes the fuck out. I am ready to bolt at this moment, but my cousin urges me on. I remember him saying, we don't have to go all the way down, but we at least have to make it to step 7 out of 10. Step 2, nothing happens. Step 3, begin to hear scraping sounds, like a paint can getting dragged across the floor. Step 4, we hear louder bangs and scrapes. We hear the chain on the light start to move, like Something is spinning it. Step 5. A large paint can comes crashing out from the darkness. Paint goes everywhere. Red paint, of course. Step 6. The forbidden step. The light bulb at this time is spun so hard it smashes into the ceiling. You can hear glass and shit all over the place. Heavy breathing. What sounded like a growl. Sounded like a large Rottweiler was walking around. Clicks and scrapes. Okay, we are scared to death at this point. The girl is upstairs screaming at us to get back up there so we can go. I yell back, we are not going until we touch step 7. We both, at the same time, reached down our feet to touch step 7. But it was as if something, like an air pocket or something, was preventing our feet from touching the step. I can't explain it. It was like there was an invisible barrier. I yell out to the darkness, we aren't leaving fucker until we touch the step. As the last word leaves my mouth, it was as if the barrier was pulled out from under our feet. We slammed into step 7 so hard because we were pushing with all of our might to touch it that we both fell onto our backs and began to slide down the steps towards the basement darkness. Fuck this shit, I yell, as we scramble up the stairs. My cousin yells out in pain, saying he must have scraped a nail or something as his back hurt very badly. As we are about to make it to the top of the steps, I very distinctly hear my name called out in a low, gravelly voice from the basement. My cousin says he heard his name as well, but I don't know. I think we both heard our own names called out. We get to the top of the stairs and close the door, but behind it we hear loud, heavy footsteps crashing up the steps and a loud bang as something slams into the door from the other side. Cousin has 3 very distinct red scratches down his back. Looks like a claw of a large animal. Scared to fucking death at this point. All white, girls crying, guys trying not to. We flip the fuck out, run out of the house, leaving all of the lights on. Later that week, girl gets a call from her parents saying that the house has been getting worse and worse, that they are going to move out now. Girl thinks that we set it off by trying to go into the basement that night. I shit you not, less than a week after that phone call, the house burned down. Cause of fire? A broken gas line in the basement looked as if it had been pulled from the wall. Parents investigated for burning down their own house, but ultimately they are cleared. Scariest moment of my life was being on my back, sliding towards the darkness of that basement. We never went back. Cousin broke up with the girl a little while after the house burned down, and never looked back. I used to be a truck driver a few years ago. I drove all across the United States and Canada, and have seen some weird shit from time to time. Being middle of summer, hotter than hell. Driving through northeastern Texas, so it is really hot. Have been driving on back roads for the last 4 hours, can only guess as to where I am. Just following the directions on the GPS. Eventually come into a small town that had a small bar, a small grocery store, a gas station, and another store that sold hot sandwiches and stuff. Don't think I'll be able to make it to a truck stop, so I pull my truck into a small gravel lot right off the highway. Looks like it used to be a gas station 20 or so years ago. Filling out paperwork and tapping things into the truck's computer. Have window down while I'm smoking a cigarette. Start noticing that there are a lot of cats running around. Get out of truck and stretch my legs. Cats running around everywhere. Walk over to the place that sold sandwiches. Bought some spicy chicken sammy and a couple drinks. One kinda cute white girl working the counter. About 6 other guys wandering around the store and hitting on the girl. These guys are staring me the fuck down as I am buying my stuff. Start to realize that this is kind of a rough area. Go back over to my truck and sit in the driver's seat while eating my sandwich and listening to the radio. The guys exit the store, and they just give me dirty looks as they do. Sun is starting to set. Had heard reports of severe thunderstorms on the local radio. Go into sleeper, but first slide driver's seat all the way forward and raise the air up so it is pressing against the steering wheel. Figure this would give me some time if someone were to bust open my window and try to get in. Lock up doors, strip down naked. Did I mention it was hot? Open the vents and lay down on my bed. Dicked around on my laptop for a little while. No internet connection, so I couldn't do much more than play a couple video games. Put laptop in its cupboard and prepare to sleep. Must have been asleep for an hour or 2. Wake to complete darkness. Laying there for a moment wondering what had woken me up. Hear banging coming from the side of my truck, right next to my head. Was a loud bang, followed by 2 smaller ones. Wait a minute. Bangs happen again, in same strength and frequency. Try and peek through the vents. Can't see shit. Put some underwear on, and open the curtain so I could look out the windshield. Completely fucking dark outside, can't see a damn thing, other than a light from the food store and a couple of porch lights in the woods. Windshield has a few rain droplets on it. Hear banging noise again, this time closer to the hood, still on the driver's side. Flip on headlights, and hit windshield wipers to clear the rain. Kind of stand up so I could see if someone was messing with my truck. Can't see anyone. Sit on the bed with the curtains open, looking out the windshield, trying to spot someone. Suddenly hear a loud bang above my head. Sounded like someone just jumped onto my cab's roof. Banging continues. Sounds like it's jumped over to my trailer and is now walking down the length of it. I start noping. I think the guys from earlier who were giving me dirty looks are climbing all over my truck. Roll down passenger window a bit and yell outside. Quit fucking around with my truck. Banging stops for a moment, then picks up in volume. Sounds like someone is running across the top of my trailer, back towards the cab. Hear a very solid bang on the roof of the cab, and see a blur of something almost rolling down my hood. The moment it would have passed in front of my headlights, they cut out. Automatic feature on the truck to prevent the battery from dying. Too freaked out to lean forward to hit the headlight switch. Silently shitting my pants. Hear small patterings all over my cab. Start thinking there is more than one. Realize it's the rain falling much harder now. Suddenly there is a bright flash of lightning. It lights up everything, including what is standing in front of my truck. Looks like a large black man wearing no clothes, with his arms outstretched to his sides and his head facing upwards. Nope, nope, nope. Get the courage to hit my headlight switch again. There is nothing in front of my truck. The rain is falling much heavier now. Having trouble seeing more than a couple of feet in front of the truck, even with the headlights on. Flash of lightning illuminates surroundings again. Looks to be around 10 people standing 20 feet away from my truck in a half circle. Don't want to hit high beam switch because I would have to climb over the seat and put my head close to the window. Freaking the fuck out, waiting for another flash of lightning. Multiple flash reveals everything around my truck. Can see people all around my truck. Some were walking towards me, some walking away, some just standing there. None of them were in groups, they just seemed to be doing their own thing. Start thinking of calling the police. Lightning flashes again. There is no one outside, but there are about 10 small cats wandering around. Sit out the rest of the storm. Don't see any more people, but cats are still wandering all over the place. Chain smoke until dawn. Make delivery, and sleep for 12 hours at a truck stop in Katy. Still don't know what happened to this day. I normally just lurk here and don't post, but why not? This story is not too paranormal, but I find it interesting. B 2009. I am 14 years old at the time, living in a more rural area. Dad and I like to hike around the woods outside my house. The woods aren't really that huge, but they are a pretty decent size, with a creek in the center of it. We are clearing a new trail down to the wider creek area to try fishing. Dad notices an animal den, maybe up to his knee, using tree roots as its structure. When I'm walking over there to look at it, I notice his eyes look back at the den, then kind of widen and lock onto something, so I get more curious. I look in, and there is 2 big red eyes, maybe the diameter of the bottom of a normal cup, which is broad, but I don't know what else to compare it to. I should probably note that the way the sun was facing, since it was later in the day, the tree blocked the sun, so it was dark in the den. Dad grabs my shoulder and tells me to just start walking back to the house because he was not quite sure what it was. This story is much more strange than creepy, but anyways, this happened to me around 2012 or so, wandering around with a friend in a Bavarian forest. We found a spot where car-sized rocks are laying around downhill on a field, which is about the size of a football field. Decide to take a rest at the upper end of this field. After a while, I see a white figure going through the bushes at the lower end of this rock field, about 300 meters away, coming towards our direction. Can't tell exactly what this figure is wearing, except that it is white, with something black where the face is supposed to be. Possibly a white heat suit. Looks almost exactly like pic related, but incomplete white, and it's not tinfoil colored. The figure is moving closer to our spot, and just looks surreal with this white suit in a forest. Ask my friend if he sees the thing too. Obviously nervous, he confirms that he does. We both observe this figure for a few minutes as it slowly gets closer to us, somehow looking awkward, stepping over stones. At a range of about 150 to 200 meters, this figure looks up to us, sees us, and freezes. It is literally not moving for what felt like a minute or so. My friend and I get really uncomfortable, and I feel the urge to get the fuck out of there. Now, this figure begins to move in our direction again, faster than before, without looking away from us. Suggest my friend to evacuate. We both move as quickly as we possibly can. Until this day, I'm not sure who that person was, and why the hell someone would go alone with a plain white suit and a dark mask in a forest. I went to that exact place several times again after that incident, but I have never seen this person ever again.